What if I told you that the most expensive jet on this list was not bought, it was given for free? And while one $350 million flying palace is currently sitting in a desert, unable to fly, another celebrity turned a private jet into a cultural icon that the entire world recognizes. Today we are exposing the real price of celebrity aviation. Welcome back to Luxury Aloft. Today we are taking you inside the world's most expensive celebrity-owned private jets. These are not rental aircraft. These are not shared charter plans. These are personal flying palaces customized to reflect the taste, lifestyle, and identity of some of the world's most successful entertainers, entrepreneurs, and public figures. From music superstars flying in converted commercial airliners to media moguls cruising in some of the fastest business jets money can buy, every detail has been researched and verified. We are counting down from number 12 to number 1, and the top spot may surprise you. Let us begin our journey. Number 12, Embraer Praetor. 600 value, around $20 million. At number 12, we begin with a jet that proves luxury in private aviation is not always about being the biggest or the loudest. Sometimes the most impressive aircraft is the one that combines intelligence, balance, and efficiency in a way that makes every flight feel calm, polished, and deeply practical. The Embraer Praetor. 600 is exactly that kind of aircraft. This super mid-sized business jet is built for travelers who want long-range capability without giving up comfort. With a maximum range of approximately 4,000 nautical miles, it can connect major cities across continents with very few limitations. That means less time spent stopping, less time wasted in transit, and more time spent moving efficiently between important destinations. For executives, entrepreneurs, and high-profile travelers, that kind of capability is not just a convenience. It is a form of freedom. It gives the owner control over time, which is often the most valuable luxury of all. The Praetor 600 is powered by two advanced turbofan engines that provide reliable performance and strong cruise capability. The aircraft is able to fly at high altitude, where the air is thinner and the flight becomes noticeably smoother. That higher flight profile helps reduce turbulence and creates a more stable environment for passengers on board. In private aviation, comfort is not only about what the cabin looks like, it is also about how the aircraft behaves in the air. And in that area, the Praetor 600 performs with quiet confidence. Inside the cabin, the aircraft feels modern, refined, and carefully designed. Premium leather seating, soft lighting, and a clean interior layout create an atmosphere that feels upscale without becoming overwhelming. It is the kind of cabin that feels elegant because it is controlled and purposeful, not because it tries too hard to impress. Every detail has a reason to exist. Every surface feels deliberate. The result is a private space that supports work, rest, and conversation without distraction. The seating can be adjusted for different needs, whether the passengers are working on the way to a meeting, relaxing during a long flight, or sleeping after a demanding schedule. The seats can also be converted into flat sleeping surfaces, which is extremely important for long-distance travel. Large windows allow natural light to enter the cabin, helping the interior feel more open and less enclosed. That sense of space makes a major difference on a flight that lasts several hours, because it reduces the feeling of fatigue and makes the entire journey feel more pleasant. One of the most impressive features of this aircraft is its turbulence reduction technology. The system constantly monitors the air and helps the aircraft respond smoothly to changes in conditions. For passengers, that means fewer bumps, less fatigue, and a more comfortable experience from takeoff to landing. A smooth aircraft always feels more expensive than a noisy one, and this jet understands that perfectly. The cabin also includes modern control systems that allow passengers to adjust lighting, outer temperature, and entertainment with ease. Add in high-speed connectivity, and the aircraft becomes much more than transportation. It becomes a private office, a quiet retreat, and a comfortable travel space all at once. That versatility is one of the reasons aircraft like this remain so appealing to people who travel constantly and cannot afford wasted time. The Embraer Praetor. 600 may be number 12 on this list, but it still delivers a level of sophistication that many travelers would consider first class in every sense of the word. It is not built to dominate by size. It is built to win by precision, efficiency, and intelligent design. And in a world where aviation luxury is often measured by excess, that kind of restraint is exactly what makes it stand out. Number 11, Cessna Citation Longitude value, around $25 million. At number 11, we move to an aircraft that represents quiet confidence. The Cessna Citation Longitude is not the kind of jet that screams for attention. Instead, it wins by being calm, consistent, and exceptionally well-balanced. It is a private jet built for people who care about reliability as much as luxury, and that combination makes it especially appealing to travelers who live by strict schedules. With a range of over 3,500 nautical miles, the Citation Longitude can handle serious travel demands without forcing passengers to think about constant refueling or unnecessary delays. It is the type of aircraft that gives business leaders and private owners a dependable way to move between cities efficiently. The longer the journey, the more valuable that reliability becomes. For someone whose day is measured in meetings, obligations, and tight connections, the ability to travel smoothly and predictably is a huge advantage. One of the most impressive aspects of the Citation Longitude is its quiet cabin. Noise may seem like a small detail, but in private aviation, it changes everything. A quieter cabin means less fatigue, better focus, and a much more relaxing atmosphere for everyone on board. The aircraft feels composed in the air, and that feeling carries through the entire interior experience. The cabin features a flat floor layout, which gives it a more open and practical feel than many aircraft in this class. Passengers can move more naturally, sit more comfortably, and enjoy a layout that feels less confined. And the seating is designed for long-duration comfort and can be adjusted to suit work, rest, or relaxation. That makes the aircraft flexible enough to support different travel styles without sacrificing elegance. Natural light enters through large windows, helping the interior feel bright and welcoming. A modern cabin management system allows passengers to control lighting, climate, and entertainment with ease, so the environment can shift to match the mood of the flight. High-speed connectivity keeps the cabin connected to the outside world, which is especially important for passengers who need to stay productive while traveling. In flight, the Citation Longitude delivers a smooth and stable experience. It is not built around extreme luxury or dramatic visual statements. Instead, it focuses on creating a premium experience through discipline, comfort, and consistency. That is what makes it so effective. The Cessna Citation Longitude is the kind of aircraft that reminds you luxury does not always need to be loud. Sometimes it is the quiet aircraft that leaves the strongest impression. Number 10. Dassault Falcon. 2000 LXS value, around $30 million. At number 10, we arrive at an aircraft with a distinctly European sense of style, the Dassault Falcon. 2000 LXS combines advanced engineering with understated elegance, creating a private jet that feels refined, intelligent, and highly capable. It is not built to overwhelm with excess. It is built to perform with grace. With a range of approximately 4,000 nautical miles, the Falcon 2000 LXS is designed for efficient long-distance travel while still maintaining a strong balance between performance and comfort. Its advanced wing design improves aerodynamic efficiency, helping the aircraft reduce fuel consumption while staying stable and responsive in the air. That matters because in the world of private aviation, an aircraft that performs well and travels efficiently always feels more valuable than one that simply looks impressive on the ground. One of the key strengths of this aircraft is its ability to operate from shorter runways. That gives it access to airports that are often unavailable to larger jets, which means it can land closer to the final destination and save a significant amount of time on the ground. For private travelers, that flexibility is part of the appeal. It makes the journey feel more direct, more personal, and more efficient. Inside the cabin, the Falcon 2000 LXS feels calm and composed. Large windows allow natural light to fill the space, making the interior feel open and bright. The materials are carefully selected, giving the cabin a clean and modern character without sacrificing comfort. It feels elegant in a quiet way, the kind of luxury that reveals itself through balance rather than excess. The cabin can be divided into multiple zones, allowing passengers to work, relax, or rest during the same flight. That flexibility is especially useful on longer journeys, where one passenger may need to focus on business, while another wants to sleep or enjoy the flight in peace. Advanced sound insulation helps keep the cabin quiet, while the smooth flight performance adds to the sense that everything has been designed with comfort in mind. The Falcon 2000L XS is a perfect example of how private aviation can feel premium without being overly dramatic. It is precise, sophisticated, and efficient, and that combination gives it a strong place on this list. Number 9, Bombardier Challenger, 650 value, around $35 million. At number 9, we begin to see a bigger shift in scale and comfort. The Bombardier Challenger 650 introduces a wider, more spacious cabin that immediately changes the experience on board. It feels less like a conventional business jet and more like a private lounge in the sky. With a range of approximately 4,000 nautical miles, the Challenger 650 is built for long-distance travel with both reliability and ease. It gives owners the ability to move between cities efficiently while still enjoying a cabin that feels open and comfortable. That is an important combination, because a jet can be technically capable and still feel cramped. This aircraft avoids that problem by giving passengers more room to breathe. The wider cabin is one of its standout features. It creates a feeling of openness that is very noticeable as soon as you step inside. Large windows bring in natural light, and the advanced insulation helps keep the cabin quiet even when the aircraft is cruising at speed. Passengers can relax in fully adjustable seating, stay connected through modern onboard systems, and enjoy the kind of private atmosphere that makes long travel much more enjoyable. The interior is practical, but it still feels premium. It is designed for people who want comfort and functionality without moving into the much larger wide-body category. That makes it especially appealing for business use, where a private jet often needs to do several things at once. It may need to function as a conference room, a resting area, and a private escape all in the same flight. The Challenger 650 handles that balance well. At this stage in the list, the aircraft begin to feel noticeably more luxurious, and the Challenger 650 is a perfect example of that shift. It is spacious, efficient, and quietly impressive. Number 8, Gulfstream 280 value, around $35 to $40 million. At number 8, we have an aircraft that focuses on precision, speed, and executive efficiency. The Gulfstream 280 is not trying to be the largest jet on this list, and it is not trying to compete by being the most extravagant. Instead, it wins by being smart, capable, and highly refined. For many private owners, that is exactly what matters most. With a range of over 3,600 nautical miles, the Gulfstream 280 is built to connect important cities quickly and reliably. It is the kind of aircraft that serves people whose schedules do not allow for delays. Business leaders, top executives, and global travelers often care less about showmanship and more about whether the aircraft can do the job efficiently. In that respect, this jet delivers. The cabin is modern and thoughtfully designed. It does not overwhelm passengers with unnecessary detail. Instead, it provides a clean and polished environment that supports both work and relaxation. Large windows bring in natural light, while the seating is fully adjustable for comfort during longer flights. The aircraft's cabin systems also make it easy to control lighting, temperature, and entertainment, giving passengers the kind of environment that feels fully personal and controlled. The flying experience itself is also important. The Gulfstream 280 is known for strong performance and a stable ride. That stability matters, and because one of the most valuable things a private jet can offer is the ability to make travel feel calm and predictable. When a passenger can move through the air without distraction, the aircraft becomes much more than transportation. It becomes a productive space, a quiet retreat, and a controlled extension of the owner's schedule. What makes this jet especially appealing is that it offers a genuine balance of practicality and luxury. It is not trying to impress through excess. It is impressing through precision. For high-level travelers who want to move between cities in speed and privacy, the Gulfstream 280 remains one of the most effective choices in its class. At this point in the list, the aircraft are becoming more refined, more exclusive, and more capable. The Gulfstream 280 is the perfect example of a jet that knows exactly what it is: a fast, elegant, and highly efficient private aircraft built for serious people with serious schedules. Number 7, Embraer Lineage 1000E value, around $40 million. At number 7, private aviation enters a very different category. The Embraer Lineage 1000E is not simply a business jet, it is a flying residence. Once you step inside, the scale of the cabin immediately changes the entire feeling of the aircraft. This is not just about traveling in comfort, it is about living in the air. The aircraft is built on a larger platform than most business jets, and that gives it a cabin that can be divided into multiple distinct living zones. Those zones can include areas for dining, work, sleep, and relaxation, which means the aircraft can function almost like a private apartment. And that kind of flexibility is especially important for owners who travel for long periods and want an environment that adapts to their lifestyle rather than forcing them into a single fixed layout. One of the most impressive aspects of the Lineage 1000E is how customizable it is. The interior can be tailored to reflect the personality and preferences of the owner, whether that means a formal meeting space, a large lounge, a private bedroom, or a combination of all three. This makes the aircraft feel less like a machine and more like a personalized home above the clouds. The cabin itself is spacious, bright, and comfortable. Large windows and a generous ceiling height help create a sense of openness that many smaller jets simply cannot match. That feeling of space matters because it changes the emotional experience of the flight. Instead of feeling enclosed, passengers feel free. Instead of feeling like they are waiting to arrive, they feel like they are already somewhere special. Advanced climate control and lighting systems keep the cabin comfortable throughout the journey, while long-range capability gives the aircraft the ability to cross great distances without interruption. That combination of range, size, and customization is what makes the Lineage 1000E so unique. It is not built to be subtle, it is built to feel like a private world in motion. For celebrities, entrepreneurs, and global travelers who want the private jet experience to feel as close as possible to a luxury residence, the Embraer Lineage 1000E is one of the most compelling aircraft on the market. Number 6, Bombardier Global 6500. Value, around $55 million. At number 6, we move into the realm of long-range luxury. The Bombardier Global 6500 is an aircraft designed for intercontinental travel, and everything about it is built to make long flights feel smoother, more spacious, and more comfortable. This is the kind of jet that transforms distance into calm. With a maximum range of over 6,000 nautical miles, the Global 6500 can connect distant cities across the world without interruption. That level of range matters because it removes one of the biggest frustrations in long-haul travel: the stop. When an aircraft can take you farther without pausing, the entire journey feels more efficient and more personal. The aircraft's advanced wing design plays a major role in its performance. It helps improve aerodynamic efficiency and stability, which means the ride feels smoother and more controlled. For passengers, that translates into a more relaxing flight from beginning to end. When you are spending hours in the air, smoothness becomes a luxury of its own. Inside the cabin, the Global 6500 is designed to feel like a complete living environment. The interior is divided into several zones, which allow passengers to work, dine, rest, and move naturally through the aircraft. That is a huge advantage on long flights because it prevents the cabin from feeling static or cramped. Instead, the aircraft feels dynamic and comfortable, like a private home that happens to be flying at altitude. The seating can be converted into flat sleeping surfaces, which is ideal for overnight travel. The aircraft also includes a dedicated dining area and space for relaxation, making the cabin feel complete rather than limited. Advanced air circulation systems help maintain a fresh environment, and the cabin pressure is managed carefully to reduce fatigue. Another advantage is the onboard cabin management system, which lets passengers adjust lighting, temperature, and entertainment with ease. Combined with high-speed internet connectivity, this makes the aircraft equally suitable for work and relaxation. That dual purpose is one of the biggest strengths of the Global 6500. It can support a business schedule in the morning, a long meal in the afternoon, and a quiet night flight after that. The Bombardier Global 6500 is not about showing off. It is about creating a smooth, controlled, and deeply comfortable travel experience for people who go farther than most. Number 5, Dassault Falcon 8X. Value, around $55 to $60 million. At number 5, we have one of the most versatile and respected long-range private jets ever developed. The Dassault Falcon 8X is a three-engine aircraft that brings together range, flexibility, and sophistication in a way that makes it especially attractive to high-level travelers who need more than just a simple flying machine. The three-engine configuration gives the aircraft a distinctive identity and adds to its performance profile. It offers strong range and excellent flexibility, while also allowing the aircraft to operate from shorter runways than many larger jets. That capability is important because it gives the owner more options when choosing airports, which means the aircraft can often land closer to the final destination. In private aviation, that kind of flexibility can save valuable time and make travel far more efficient. The cabin is spacious, elegant, and carefully designed for long-duration comfort. Multiple zones can be created inside the interior, allowing passengers to work, rest, dine, or simply enjoy the flight in privacy. Large windows allow natural light to enter, which helps make the cabin feel open and welcoming. The sound insulation is strong enough to keep the environment quiet and composed, even during long journeys. What makes the Falcon 8X so appealing is the way it balances capability and comfort. It is not just an aircraft with impressive specifications. It is a jet that understands how luxury should feel in motion. It should feel smooth. It should feel private. It should feel effortless. And this aircraft delivers exactly that. For owners who want serious range, multiple airport options, and a cabin that feels refined without being excessive, the Dassault Falcon 8X is a powerful choice. It is an aircraft built for travelers who want both freedom and control, which is often the real definition of luxury in the sky. Number 4, Kim Kardashian Gulfstream G650 Extended Range. Value, around $150 million. At number 4, we have Kim Kardashian, a celebrity who turned private aviation into a highly controlled extension of her personal brand. Her aircraft, often referred to as Kim Air, is a custom Gulfstream G650 extended range that was reportedly purchased for around $95 million and then heavily customized, pushing the total value to roughly $150 million. What makes this jet stand out is not only the aircraft itself, but the way it has been transformed to match Kim's exact vision. The exterior is sleek and modern, but the interior is where the real statement begins. The cabin has reportedly been finished in cream, beige, and cashmere tones, creating a soft, elegant, and highly polished environment. It feels less like a conventional aircraft and more like a private retreat designed around comfort, image, and absolute control. Reports suggest that the aircraft includes multiple sleeping areas, allowing her family and team to travel together in complete comfort. Every seat reportedly has its own charging point, which makes perfect sense in a world where connectivity is essential at all times. The entire interior has been built around a calm and luxurious atmosphere, with an emphasis on softness, privacy, and visual consistency. Nothing feels accidental. Everything feels curated. That level of control is part of what makes Kim Air so fascinating. Kim is known for being extremely detailed about presentation, and that approach extends into the jet as well. Passengers reportedly follow strict rules on board, including no shoes on certain surfaces and no careless behavior that could damage the interior. In other words, this is not just a jet. It is a flying environment with its own standards, its own mood, and its own identity. The Gulfstream G650. Extended range itself is one of the most capable private jets in the world. It offers a range of around 7,500 nautical miles and can cruise at very high speed, making it ideal for long international travel. For someone managing multiple businesses, family life, and a constant public presence, that kind of capability is invaluable. It allows travel to happen in complete privacy, on a schedule that is fully controlled by the owner. Kim Air is not simply about transportation. It is a sanctuary, a branding tool, and a luxury statement all in one. It shows how a private jet can become more than an aircraft. It can become part of a celebrity's identity. Number 3, Joseph Lau, Boeing 787 Dreamliner. Value, around $367 million. At number 3, we move into an entirely different category of private aviation. Joseph Lau's Boeing 787 Dreamliner is not just a jet. It is a wide-body flying palace built on the foundation of a commercial airliner, and that size changes everything. The Boeing 787 is originally designed to carry hundreds of passengers across long international routes. In its private form, however, it becomes an enormous custom-built residence in the sky. That is what makes this aircraft so extraordinary. It is not limited by the space constraints of a traditional business jet. Instead, it offers the kind of volume that allows for truly ambitious customization. While the exact interior remains closely guarded, the aircraft of this type and scale are often equipped with multiple bedrooms, large lounges, private bathrooms, dining areas, and even conference spaces. Some conversions at this level can also include entertainment rooms, private office setups, and specialized rooms designed to make long journeys feel more like life inside a luxury estate than life inside an aircraft. The Boeing 787 itself is also a highly advanced platform. It has a long range and efficient engines for its size, which makes it an excellent base for ultra-luxury conversion. The ride is smooth, the cabin environment is controlled, and the aircraft is built for serious intercontinental travel. That means the owner is not only getting space, he is also getting range, comfort, and capability on a massive scale. The value of this aircraft reflects more than the cost of the base airplane. The customization alone would have required extraordinary investment, and that is what pushes it into such an elite category. This is the kind of aircraft that does not just signal wealth, it signals a willingness to build an entirely private world above the clouds. For Joseph Lau, this Dreamliner is the ultimate expression of scale. It is one of the clearest examples on this list of how far private aviation can be pushed when money is not a constraint. Number 2, Airbus A340, 300 value around $350 million. At number 2, we move into a different class of private aviation entirely. Alisher Usmanov's Airbus A340-300 is not a typical business jet. It is a wide-body aircraft built on the scale of a commercial airliner, and that scale changes everything. With the registration MIABU, this aircraft has been identified by OCCRP as one of Usmanov's major assets, carrying a reported value of around $350 million. Reuters also reported that Uzbekistan rented the aircraft for President Shavkat Mirziyoyev's overseas trips, which tells you just how significant this jet is in both size and status. The Airbus A340-300 is a serious long-range platform. Airbus lists the model with a standard seating capacity of 335 passengers, which shows just how massive the cabin is before any private customization even begins. Lufthansa's published technical data for the A340-300 lists a range of 12,300 kilometers and a maximum cruising speed of 890 kilometers per hour. In other words, this is not just an aircraft with luxury finishes. It is a true long-haul machine capable of crossing continents with ease. What makes this jet so fascinating is the sheer amount of space it offers. A wide-body aircraft like this gives the owner room to create something far beyond a standard private cabin. Instead of a single seating area, the interior can be transformed into a full airborne residence with private lounges, sleeping areas, dining zones, and office space. That kind of volume is exactly what separates ultra-luxury aviation from ordinary private travel. It is not just about reaching another city. It is about doing it inside a completely private world, where every section of the cabin can be designed around comfort, privacy, and control. For a billionaire like Usmanov, that matters. A jet like this is not only transportation, it is a mobile headquarters, a private sanctuary, and a symbol of scale. The A340-300 stands out because it does something smaller jets cannot do. It turns long-haul flying into a truly expansive experience. That is why it deserves its place near the top of the list. Number 1, Drake, Boeing 767 Air Drake. Value, around $200 million. And now the moment you have been waiting for. The most expensive celebrity-owned private jet in the world belongs to Canadian rapper Drake, and his Boeing 767 is known everywhere as Air Drake. This aircraft is famous not only because of its value, but because of the story behind it. In a unique marketing partnership, Cargojet provided the aircraft to Drake at no direct cost in exchange for brand exposure in a strategic collaboration. That means the most iconic celebrity jet on this list was not simply bought in the traditional sense. It was transformed into a global brand asset, and that is part of what makes it so legendary. The Boeing 767 itself is a wide-body aircraft originally built for commercial long-haul travel. It was designed to carry a large number of passengers, but Drake's version was reimagined to carry a much smaller group in total luxury. The interior was originally designed by the late Virgil Abloh, and that alone gives the aircraft a special place in modern celebrity culture. It was never meant to be ordinary. It was meant to be unforgettable. Inside, the aircraft feels bold, glamorous, and unmistakably personal. The original design included luxury materials, gold fixtures, and a refined color palette. Later updates made the interior even more dramatic, with vivid lighting, lounge-style seating, entertainment areas, a private bedroom, and a layout that turns the aircraft into a social space as much as a travel space. It is a jet built to host, to impress, and to circulate as part of Drake's public image. And the exterior is just as recognizable. Painted in sky blue and white, the aircraft looks like it is flying through clouds. The OVO branding, the owl logo, and the distinct identity of Air Drake make it impossible to confuse with any other jet. It is not just transportation, it is part of the artist's brand universe. The aircraft also has serious capability. With long-range performance and strong cruise speed, it can handle non-stop travel across major international routes. But in Drake's case, the plane is about more than technical performance. It is about image, presence, and the ability to turn private aviation into a cultural statement. Air Drake is the perfect final entry for this list because it represents everything celebrity aviation can become at its highest level. It is expensive, iconic, customized, and instantly recognizable. It is not just a private jet, it is a symbol. So there you have it, the 12 most expensive celebrity private jets in the world. From Beyoncé and Jay-Z's powerful gift, to Taylor Swift's touring aircraft, to Oprah's ultra-modern Gulfstream, to Elon Musk's and Jeff Bezos's strategic fleets, all the way to Drake's legendary Air Drake. These aircraft represent far more than transportation. They are private sanctuaries, business tools, branding machines, and symbols of identity. What stands out most about this list is not only the price, but the evolution. Some of these jets are designed for comfort, some are designed for range, some are designed for status, and some are designed to become part of a celebrity's public story forever. In the world of celebrity aviation, the aircraft is never just an aircraft. It is a mobile headquarters, a private retreat, a power symbol, and in some cases, a global icon. Now I want to hear from you. If you had unlimited resources, which one would you choose?